I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution. Today's stream topic is about looking to learn. I'm looking. I've learned nothing. Looking again? Learned something. All right. Today's stream topic is inspired by a moment actually yesterday with Yogi.
Dog.
Yeah. We went to go and see Liam perform in...
Marching band.
Is it marching band?
Well, it wasn't band practice. It wasn't marching band. It was like a
Orchestra? Felt more like orchestra.
I think it's considered concert band.
Concert band. Yeah, there was a conductor. They were sitting in a big circle. There was a lot of kids. Like,
You thought so?
I didn't think there was going to be that many playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was what, 30 plus at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 30 kids playing their own instruments. Right. I'm sure there was like an actual metric ton of metal just in instruments on that stage. And it was pretty is the word I'm looking for. Enlightening. I looked and I learned. This time of year is concert band. How were they? They were trying.
They were 7th graders.
They were 7th graders. Like, I am no professional, of course, and I've never in my life heard marching band in person.
Do you hear that crazy blue jay out there? He's so going crazy.
He must be calling over all of his homies.
Figaro, Figaro.
Figaro. He's a little happy dude. So yeah, it was what I was doing essentially, right? I was looking to learn which instrument made which sound, right? And the sounds that was most stark and identifiable was the drums. Jo was a drummer as well back in her time. And that's kind of like the way I was thinking about it, like which instrument would I play if I was one of the kids playing up there kind of thing. And the drum line was the one that had most of my attention. I saw like a girl with a flute. I was trying to like hear what her instrument sounds like. And she was just standing there.
Did she ever play it?
I don't know. I didn't ever see her play it. Maybe I was like working my way through the crowd as I was going.
Yeah.
And she was one of the last ones that I kind of like focused on. And I was like, any second now. And she was just waiting on the ready. She probably had like beep, or something like that. Or, but I was like looking to learn. And then because we had that, her sister brought over her dog. So that the dog has somewhere to stay in the meantime. And he has like a collar that has like 2 different latching mechanisms, right? Where the long latch, I think, helps restrict when he pulls too hard or something, and the short latch is just the attachment latch. And as she was putting it on him when she was bringing him inside, I was looking. I was looking to learn how that thing works. And that's almost like what I was inspired by today, is in realizing that that is something that I do. I try to learn when I look at things. And I don't think that that is necessarily true for all people. Not everybody does look to learn. Somebody just looks to see, right? And I feel like that's kind of I don't know if I want to share that as the quip alone. Maybe you can tell me something that you've learned just by looking. Maybe you can share with me an anecdote of what you are capable of, all right? I'm thinking about how some kids will spend time with their dads as their dad works in some sort of skill, some sort of craft. And then by the time they become teenagers to adults, they start doing things that would take another adult years of training to be able to get to, right? And there is a certain learning that happens when you look. I think it's almost inevitable, right? Something will be learned, something will sneak into your subconscious. However, trying to, trying to learn everything we look at, I feel is a little bit more intentional. Intentional living has been the thing that I've been continuously trying to bring myself back to. It's a never ending pursuit. I don't think it's ever made easy, but it is possible. We got Sam saying, also, what a fun coincidence. My husband and I went to listen to the Kansas City Symphony last night. They did a Final Fantasy concert with music from 6, 10, and 7.
Oh me, oh my.
Did you intentionally, dear Sam, separate the 6 and the 7 the way you did? That just cracks me up. 2, 4, 8. Ugly flamingo is in a pond. Seems like you're counting doubles. You might have to be put to sleep. Oh, yeah. You guys, it was so good. And yes, they separated those numbers to prevent that dumb shit.
That's so funny.
I knew they separated those numbers. I'm not surprised. Joe's brother has a bunch of little boys as well. Liam is one of them. He's the one who was playing in the orchestra,
Plays saxophone.
playing the sax in the orchestra. And then he has two brothers as well, two younger brothers, Silas and Elias. And Elias is that generation where he finds 6, 7 hilarious. Right. And there was a moment yesterday where I think we were getting counted. I don't even know who it was. Was it you? Or I think it was your sister. Your sister was counting how many people we were because we wanted to go somewhere to eat. And then she goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then he goes, ha ha, 6, 7. And I wish I could say that it wasn't a little bit funny to me, but it is. I kind of find it endearing. I find it stupid, but it is kind of funny. All right. How old is he? He's like 5 or 4. How old is he? Elias.
He's like 6
6.
or 7.
What? I was about to say he's a small 7 if he's 7.
He's definitely at least 7, to be honest, because
What?
he's in school. Kindergarten is 7. I think he's in first grade.
First grade is 7.
So he's 7 or 8. Liam's like 12.
Yeah.
13.
Maybe it's the matter of like towering above them.
He's probably 7 or 8, yeah.
To me, they're all small. Small little children.
To you, my dad's small. My dad's always been tall to me.
Yeah, there was a moment in Joe's house the other night where Joe, of course, has grown up in her home, her family home, her whole life, right? And she has gotten used to things being a certain way, I guess, in that space as well. And then, I went over to her parents' place with her the other night to go and have dinner. And then she looks at me in the space and she goes, "You're so tall in here." And her dad goes, "He is tall." He is tall. I've never considered myself tall, right? Unironically, never considered myself tall. I would only consider myself tall if I was a single inch taller, right? So I can call myself 6 foot. But I am 5'11" and a half, I think, or something like that.
Are you 5'11"?
I'm 5'11", yeah.
I thought you were 5'10". That makes sense that you're 5'11". You didn't seem like just 5'10".
Just not. Like, literally,
Half, almost 6 foot.
if I my hair plus hair, I'm 6 foot, technically. All right. But technically, I'm not. So it is one of those things where my whole life I've been looking myself in the eyes. I think my dad is still a little bit taller than I am. I think he's 183 centimeters, which is 6 foot something. 6 foot and a little bit.
And your dad's a tall guy.
He is pretty tall. And I never thought of my dad as tall either. That's the thing. He was never tall to me. He was just taller than me. Uh, I have met a few people that are like 7 feet tall. And I think maybe that's why. Where if you stand next to a 7 foot tall person, suddenly you feel tiny.
Thinking about relativity.
All right.
Well, because like, yeah, nobody's gonna seem tall to you. You're on the above average side of tall. So to you, what tall is
That's
what's
really tall.
to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is that called?
Oh, I think relativity is the right word.
Definitely relativity. It is relative, but
Maybe it's
it's just a perception.
I wanted to use the word
It's your glacius.
my glacius. The sax says, Sam, goodness, it's hard to live in the house of a budding saxophone player. Do his parents have good earplugs? They need them. I think that, and also there's a big bit of property.
They've been desensitized. They have 3 boys.
Yeah, those boys are crazy. Like, if you're not getting fought, like actual getting fists thrown at you, then they're trying to bend your fingers apart hard enough that they try and snap them. Good thing I'm resilient. Very resilient human being. It makes me think about one of my experiences. Like that was the first time I ever really, I think, met a really tall person. He was, I want to do the conversion. Hey Google. Hey Google.
Yeah, what is it?
213 centimeters in feet. He was 230 centimeters tall. All right. Let me know if you get the feet number and then I can continue.
6'11".
6'11".
Sorry, 6'11.8".
So it's basically like I think he said he's like I'm basically 7 foot tall.
It's 7 foot.
But oh my goodness, right? Like this was in China. And we had this place that we would frequent that had these little metal sitting places, right? Chairs with a little table. And it was in the center of a square of the little restaurant district that we would kind of frequent. And we are there the way we normally are. And I'm sitting down and we're like picking at our food. They usually bring out plates filled with something. And then you order a bunch of plates and then you pick off the plates with your chopsticks. Right, so we're chopping and picking and I suddenly feel this presence looming behind me. And I turn around to see what I recognize is a tall person. I'm like, wow, this guy's tall. You know? And he, at that point, had brought, what would we call it? An inhaler. Yes. He had an inhaler. All right. That looked pretty cool to me. I was like, that is a neat inhaler you got there. Can I see it? And then I stand up. All right, because that's in South Africa, one of the things, like you are technically supposed to stand up when a new person enters the space. And I stand up. And as I stand up and like reach my full height, it still feels like I'm sitting down next to this person. Where I was just like, oh my goodness. Like that is what? Almost 30 centimeters taller than me. All right. So like standing that much still above me, I was like, oh my goodness. And apparently he was a basketball player that was contracted into a Chinese team from America. And it was a matter of just like realizing that what tall is to me at least is different. It's different to what I guess the average person would consider tall. I never felt tall after that moment again, so kind of feels nice. I did feel like I think that's also another part of it, show is like because I was in China, I did feel a little bit tall again for the first time, technically, where I was like, "Oh wow, I am like
Tall boy.
this much taller than the average person," and it
So China really is short.
oh yes, oh yes, that part was not
So I go to China, I'll be normal height.
pretty much. I wonder what the average is. Probably is reported. Probably is propaganda. I wouldn't be surprised.
All those little Chinese kids had to look up to learn from you.
Just only thinking like they must also have thought I was a giant.
Tying it back to the topic.
You're right. Talking about looking to learn. Looking to learn. Yeah. Suddenly meeting that person. That was also the night that I had that moment of realizing that I am in an alien world. Like it was that night where I was like, it really dawned upon me that I am not home right now. The world is alien. Okay, I'm going to now put you. I'm going to put you away. I don't know what to do with your bullshit anymore. So that topic, what are we looking to learn today? Today's topic is just in looking to learn. Really?
So you said you learned something from Yogi?
Yeah, as I said, I watched with intention as Shay was putting his collar on because it seemed to follow a certain system. You can't just nilly-willy flick a thing and then it's done. There was two different latches and you have to latch the right latch to the right latch. Otherwise, it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. And it was just, I feel like one of those things to me where when I came inside to get Yogi the night after, I could do what I had to do, right? And again, it's not freaking rocket science. I am willing to admit that putting a collar on a dog is not exactly the hardest thing on earth. But it was just this matter of like realizing that even without necessarily intending to, I did look with enough intention and attention to be able to reproduce, to be able to do, to have learned what the right way is to do something. And I feel like it's not always easy to ensure that what it is you are looking at is the right way to do things. But I try, right? It's something that I've noticed is appreciated by especially the male figures that I find myself around in my life, right? Your dad, I think, is one of them. Your
That you look to them to learn?
no, they like it when you do things the way they do things.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. So I'll look and I'll be like, okay, you want it done this way? All right, I can do it this way.
Totally.
All right. Especially like Christian's dad. Christian's dad was the biggest. He
It's a
had
pride thing.
many ways of doing things.
It's
Yeah.
a pride thing, like hands, like such a pride thing because they want to be the ones to figure something out. So whenever they see people following in their footsteps, they're like, "Yes,
Yeah,
I am the
yes.
discoverer.
I discovered.
This is my legacy."
Yep. I taught him how to do that. I did. Yeah, I think that has definitely a lot to do with it.
I think Sam was talking about this was probably months ago where she said something along the lines of people liking to discover things for themselves, especially when it comes to like about themselves. People don't like to learn things about themselves from somebody else oftentimes. And so
Unless it's endearing, of course.
unless it's endearing.
Yeah.
But
That is an interesting point that you're making. Maybe that's a place for us to kind of continue our exploration. Darren is here with us. Hey, Darren. It's nice having you. To learn something about yourself from someone else seems to be undesired.
I guess probably if it's a thing that you need to work on.
Ooh, that's especially one of them. All right. I feel like in a way, all of us technically know. I think that's the one that seems to me to get people the most. Like if you say something to a person that they already on some level know, and maybe they don't want to know, the amount of anger that can be gotten. You have to go.
But I'm listening to what you're saying.
But you probably have to go.
The anger that could be gotten. Continue thought.
Yeah, it's like the matter of almost I listened to this Alan Watts talk the other night where he was talking about how it's like literally the point you made that people sometimes don't want to learn certain things, right? Especially about themselves. Because as soon as they acknowledge the lesson has been absorbed, now they have to start
Doing the
applying.
work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in that way, I feel like it is a matter of like I've seen people get the angriest in an exchange when something is brought
When
up.
character is.
Character is a big one. I try to not attack character as much as I can. All right. I try to look at patterns. I try to look to learn. Are you gay? Unfortunately for you, Rick James, I am not. Softman Nuggets. PD is here. PD, change your freaking username and profile picture, please. For the love that is holies and all that is good. Yo, what's up, man? You got extra long scarf today. Is this the scarf that I was wearing when he talked about my long scarf? It is not a short scarf, that I'll say. It's one of my favorite colored scarves. Looks like sunlight got transmuted into something material.
I gotta go. I'm getting late. I'm going late to work. Oh.
She fell into my trap. I'm not going to let her go. Liefje,
Yeah.
veilig rij.
I'll go that one.
Veilig is safe. Rij is to drive. Veilig rij. Drive safe. Love you, Joe. All right. Let's see. Stoked it rained last night. I put fertilizer on the grass. Wednesday, go me. That is nice, Darren. That is perfect timing. All right, having all of those little balls of fertilizer melt and become a part of the soil. Nice. Good on you, bro. I don't think we put any fertilizer on our grass. I need to cut the grass at some point. I did pick up some sticks yesterday, but I feel like it's gonna be intense. Joe's garden or lawn is sloped. I don't even think I can buy myself a robot mower. I had that whole moment where I was like, maybe I can have a robot mower before I came here. Maybe a robot mower can be something we can have. Looks at layout of land, all right? Some of the garden. I'm not joking. Literally has this kind of like slope. Where it's like, ain't no robot. Ain't no robot going to be cutting grass at that angle. Only this robot. This is gonna be the guy. I didn't have to do that. My opinion on that has evolved. The journey to mindfulness begins and ends in ignorance, and everything in the middle is just a way to travel between them. The journey to mindfulness begins with ignorance. I'm deliberating. I'm looking at what you said. And I'm trying to learn. Begins and ends in ignorance. The more I look at it, the more I'm learning that it might be true, what you're saying. Because there is a certain willingness, I should say, to admit your own unknowingness at the end of mindfulness, right? Because you're like, I am ignorant. And that's fine. And then at the start it goes, I am ignorant. Is it fine? Right. Right. Is that what you mean? I think. So, hey, PD. Yo, what's up, man? Bless again. Combat Journeys. It's nice having you here with us. As in, we can look into ourselves as long as we want, but the most precious revelation is that we are strong enough internally to simply notice ourselves without wanting to hold onto or fret. Yeah. I have definitely noticed myself changing already. That I am becoming someone else. Oh, gobbity-goo, send us a clockin'. Thank you, Gabs. Hi to you. I overseeded new grass and patchy areas few weeks ago, and it's coming up well. Good. I'm hoping that you're gonna have some good grass. What kind of grass did you plant? Diddy is innocent. No, he's not, though. He's definitely not innocent. Like, definitely not. Right? Like, I want to stress how definitely he's not innocent. Definitely. I don't even believe it's a scarf. I'm pretty sure that's just a cover or a sheet. It has tassels, okay? That's how you know it's actually a scarf, because it has little tassels. You see those? That's proof. All right. This one was sent from North Carolina. This is an America scarf. It is one of my favorites. It might be one of my last times wearing this shirt. I got a bunch of holes in my bits. I do yoga, and my clothing is rarely up to the task. I learned yesterday when I was trying to get dressed for the whole orchestra thing that I've become bigger. I didn't intend to. I think that's the part that hurts me. I feel like most people probably work hard to get big. I wanted to stay the size I am so I can keep wearing my clothing. But no. Apparently, no. Apparently, I have to throw away a bunch of my stuff. I have a bunch of formal clothes that I don't wear regularly, that I wear only like but once a year or something. And it has dawned on me that I need to get new ones. I've looked and I have learned, there we go, that I need new ones. Plants on plants on plants on plants. Baya. Baya baya. Plants on plants. There's like layers of plants that goes up, and there's layers of plants that go down. And there's plants on that side, and there's plants on that side too. Plants on plants on plants. Combat the pharaoh who would not soften. And I see you deleted that comment, but I want to say something anyway, was Ozymandias, Ramses II, who thought the sun shone from his asshole. Yep, you look like W. Thanks. No, you, tail fescue? Tall fescue. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. We have a type of grass that's called buffelgras, which has like a little blue tint to it. But I'm sure you probably have to plant the seeds or the grass that is native or that will survive in your immediate kind of climate. If you're scratching my back, it's because my wounds are healing up. This is how much I've healed. You can basically see, this used to be no skin. There used to not be skin here. And now I am healed. This one is still a little bit big. This is where it was like road burn, and then it hit a rock or something, and then it like pulled some skin off me. And same for this one. This was all road burn all the way to there. And that's how much is left of it there as well. And then my back is worse. A little bit worse than that. But it is healing. All right, so I get the itchies. I don't particularly like itching. Itching is, I think, one of my least favorite experience. Like, that's why I hate mosquitoes so much. It's because, how fucking dare you, dude? How dare you bring the itch to me? How does wedding celebration plans? Dude, it is, I think, one of the most stressful things I've had to consider ever. The plan so far is just for us to go through to Kansas City and then live stream the little ceremony, and then the actual wedding celebration plans will be in May, probably either in May or end of April. So we have a little bit of time to plan so we can come together as friends. But dude, neither me or Joe are the wedding planning kind of people, right? Takes a certain type of person to want to plan a wedding. And I don't think either of us are that kind of person. I'm not up to date on my scarf requirements. I can't believe I didn't notice the tassels. We all know that what that means. Yeah, makes the scarf the scarf. Of course. Of course. All right. My mind is applying that information. I don't know if you're doing the same thing, but my mind is applying the information of just like a scarf the size of a building, but it has a bunch of tassels on it. All right. So it's not a building blanket. It's actually a scarf, a building scarf. The Pharaoh comment was to another channel. I'm watching you and someone else, and they got blended. That moment when, who do you got winning the Counter-Strike 2 major? I didn't know there was a Counter-Strike 2 major going on right now. I'm trying to remember a single esports team name. Is Lucid still a team? Building scarf. How did this happen, Combat Journeys? I'm happy that you're laughing. My coffee is heating me up. The humidity is high right now. And I'm looking to learn. Ruby Crosley. Hello, friends. Chumari. Hello, Ruby. And welcome. Thank you for joining us in this space. We are discussing, sharing, considering, deliberating the topic that is looking with the intent of learning. I am a forever student. And I do believe that there is a certain way to engage with the world where you will always learn from it. I try to, but I still think I'm not the best student. I don't know, at least. Maybe I am a good student. Maybe it's one of those moments, and maybe some of you friends can remember it, where you have a kid that usually does academically well in class, right? And they get their test and they start losing their minds about, like, oh, I did so bad. And then they get like an A minus, right? I feel like it's one of those situations where I would like to believe that I am in fact doing good, right? Results wise, it seems like I'm getting an A minus on average. However, I feel that sense of like, oh, why can't I just get 100%? Why can't I just have A++? Why? Why is it so hard to be perfect? Is it possible to be perfect? Part of me would like to believe it is. That I could optimize my life towards perfection. Right? I can look with so much attention that I learn with so much certainty exactly how to be. Can I live in a way where I don't make a single mistake? I don't think so. I don't make a lot of mistakes. I'll make like a mistake, one time in every 10, right? Maybe half a time in every 10. Or I think one time in every 10 is A minus, right? Yeah. But still, that one time that I make a mistake hurts. Especially if it's something that I have to like ask, especially if it's something someone had shown me already. Right? Because then it's extra cringe. Because I dread them being like, didn't I show you this already? Weren't you looking to learn what I was showing you the last time? With high humidity, you can damn near calculate when it will rain based on the barometric pressure. I did not know that. I think I've heard about something like that, Darren, but I've never known how to do that. I don't know if we can feel the barometric pressure with our bodies. It was supposed to get way colder last night as well. I think that's the thing that shocked me the most. I was sleeping hot last night. Had like 3 hours where I just couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep properly. I was just like in that state of wakefulness, like what's what's going on right now? Why am I so uncomfortable? And it was because I think I was hot. Oh, Melt, what is hot to you? Like 72, I think. 72, and I'm like profusely sweat. I'm already missing the winter. Man, every time the winter goes away. Feeling pretty weird today, y'all, Dan says. I've been dealing with some things that are emotionally heavy, and at the same time, I just spent the past 2 nights with Wei, and I want to give her my full focus. She just headed to the train station, and I feel like this heavy stuff is all crashing in on me right now, like I didn't have time to process. Well, this is a space for you to process if you need to, Dan. And also, I would extend an olive branch and let you know I'm proud of you for not dumping, potentially, all of these heavy emotions on her, making her responsible for your feelings or expecting her to change what might be going on. I remember you telling us about the disconnect of your mom. I don't know if that's some of the difficulties you're going through, and I can believe that you must be feeling some kind of way about the apartment situation. Hug to you, Dan. Thank you, Gabs, for doing that. Yeah, hug to you indeed, bro. I've been feeling a little bit weird this morning too. All right, and in these opportunities, and let's call it a little opportunity, Dan. In these opportunities, we can look to learn and see what it is we need, why it is we react the way that we do. Heavy emotions. Heavy emotions. Part of me would love to be able to just give you like a little quip. But I think heavy emotions can only be processed over time. Right? For me, it's almost like chopping away at something that I have to like keep chipping away at it. All right. And eventually, over time, it'll stop being quite as heavy. All right. And then just as I'm done chipping, like I just chipped the last little bit, I'll have like open space. And then before I know it, a big block in my psyche will arise again. And then I'll have to start chipping and chopping until it's not as heavy anymore. And I would like to believe I'm getting better at chipping and chopping. I think it's taking me less time to get through the block, right? And let's talk about it like a mental block, right? That heaviness can feel like this, as you said, like stealing your focus. Like you can't give yourself as uninterruptedly, as authentically to another person because you have this block inside of you. I hate that feeling. And I'm always terrified that the other person can tell. It's the guy who likes good art and tea. Bless, bro. Jemanuel. I remember your username. It's nice having you here. I do like good art and tea. It's true. I need to make double art today because I didn't get the time last night. We came back home after all of the orchestra stuff and we pretty much went bed directly. It was nice to get a good night's worth of sleep. I think it's the first time since coming to America that I slept more than 8 hours. And I don't feel particularly more rested than I have. But it is something that I appreciate that happened. It was raining this morning, so the soft I think was sussing us into more sleep. And then, of course, because it was raining, there was less light, quite as bright, as early as we usually would expect it. I am learning things about myself by looking how things happen, why things happen sometimes as well. Yep, I need some time just to sit with it. I don't want her to notice that. And at the same time, it's important to be open in romance. It's tricky for sure. I think maybe that's what you can do, bro. Is you can maybe just tell her that you need the time, that you might be in a emotional state right now, but it's not going to be the state you stay in, right? That it's just something that you are actively involved in processing. Hope that you do some breath work or something. Luckily, she's a very good communicator, and I was able to essentially fill her in on my shit without getting mired in the details. They will come out in time. Yeah, I think that's apt, bro. I think you're doing the best that you can. I think that's really the best that we can expect of ourselves. Right? Maybe you can tell me if you relate to today's stream topic. Are you looking to learn? Are you looking with the intention to learn from yourself, Dan? Scarf with a short sleeve is diabolical, yeah? Diabolical. You know, I found out what the word diabolical means as a child when I was in the game section and there was a game that looked in so many words satanic. And then I pick up the game because my morbid curiosity wanted me to, and I turn around the case to read the words, "This game is diabolical." And it like messed with me, made me feel things, made me look and see that things can be made that are diabolical. And at that point of my life, I had never, all right, really considered that as a reality. It was one of those things that was very stark to me. So I don't know if I believe you. I don't think I believe that scarf with short sleeves is that diabolical. It has been something I've been doing for a long time, so if it is, I'm definitely far, far in. Let me see. Open a new chat, please. This thing is slow. Are you trying to remember who you are? Come out. Let me see. So, man, what's been going on this morning? Anything there? Not much here. Everything has been mostly chill. Like, I've been patient. I got to make myself some coffee this morning. Got to have some chats with Joe. That is a delightfully ominous single word opener. It's kind of the word that implies a plan is coming together. What are you on about, language model? What are you? Maybe you can just tell me what it means. Maybe you can just tell me the definition of the word. How about that?
Fair enough.
Fair enough. This poor language model. He was trying to be quirky. And I was like, oh, since diabolical can go in so many directions, how would we lean into the chaos? The mastermind, the critic, the chef. And I was like, no, I was actually just looking for a definition. And it goes, fair enough. Let's keep the chaos strictly academic for a moment. Thank you. Diabolical, an adjective, primarily referring to something so evil so cruel or wicked that it seems to be the work of the devil. You see, like I was, I think, like 7 or 8. No, no, I was around, I think, between 8 and 9, probably, right? Because I could at that point already read English, and I was playing games, which is around that age, right? It's like the 8 and up, yeah, grade 2 and up. And then I read this, like, this word. This game is diabolical. And I think I asked my dad or something like that, what does diabolical mean? And he also shared something about, like, it's so evil. It is the work of the devil. Like, that game is the work of the devil. And I was like, oh my goodness, the devil is making games? Oh my, oh my goodness. Oh, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. The classic definition belonging to or a characteristic of a devil, satanic or demonic, cruelly or shockingly clever or efficient, or it can be used informally to describe something of disgracefully bad quality. Oh, that's pretty funny. Let me get this thing open up. Daddy Frere came out of a new song. That's cool. All right. Dan says, yes, life's curriculum. I've learned a lot in the last 3 weeks even. It doesn't seem to stop, huh? It's like just when you think you finished your class, you start another one. Just when you thought your homework is done, you have another assignment. It doesn't seem to get any easier. But I do think we are getting smarter, getting more efficient, and becoming more capable. Looking and learning, slowly but surely. Imagine making a "you're gay" joke in 2026. Is she aware that some of the coolest people are gay? This has this fool heard of Freddie Mercury? Yeah, I don't even understand. I think I'm like convinced at this point, right? Like there's one of two reasons. If that was in fact a woman calling me gay, I think she's calling me gay because there might be like a low hum insecurity that she can't get with me. So it's easier to call me gay than to come to that terms, right? With that reality. And then the second one is a guy who is gay, right? That like desperately hopes that I'm gay as well, right? And then maybe is projecting that onto me. I am more than willing to recommend that I am flamboyant. Hey, let me see. Let me see exactly if I'm using that word correctly. Can you define flamboyant? Flamboyant describes something or someone that is strikingly bold, colorful, or brilliant. Yes. It's all about high energy visual impact and a certain larger than life quality. Yes. I do like to consider myself flamboyant, a little bit at the very least. And I think a certain flamboyancy has been associated with our gay communities. But that doesn't mean they own flamboyancy. Thank you very much. Flamboyancy is for all of us. All of us get to wear scarves and put feathers in our hair, get to, I don't know, add some glitter. You can do that too. Doesn't make you gay. Doesn't make you gay. You're gonna be fine. Your petness won't fall off if you touch the color pink. I promise. I promise you. I'm on my way to the gym to wrestle sweaty men, so it's gonna be a good morning. Nobody say it. Love is true. Let's pretend it's real, lol. Idiocy. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for pretending with us, Schmed Ford, for being an idiot alongside us. You know how they talk about the Black Pearl as being captured by a man so evil, hell itself spat him back out. That's what that word means. No, not exactly, but sure. Is it Davy Jones? It was Davy Jones diabolical as well. The devil just signed a 5-year deal with Activision, man. He's locked in. I knew Dan was going to love my line of like, I don't know, the devil was making games. Thanks, Dan. Dan saw what I was going with that. I was like, yeah, I thought it was a good joke. I thought it was good. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, it makes sense that he would go for Activision too. Yeah. Checks out. Checks out a lot. How do you feel about religion? Do you believe in some type? Mm, uh, I had this line that I actually came up with just last night in circumstances like this, combat journeys, where if somebody in the world, I told myself, is going to ask me if I am a religious man, I'm going to go, I am not a God fearing man. I am a God loving man. And it is true. It is true, right? My relationship with God is very much this understanding that I have come to, this thing I have looked at and learned from, that everything is what we would consider God. Your friends, your family, the dogs, the flies flying outside, the sky and the sun, and the earth at large, and the wind brushing up against your skin. All of that's God to me, right? And all I have to be as a human being is loving, right? Fearing God, fearing the wind on my skin, fearing the bee flying out there, fearing my family, fearing the person sitting across from me. It's not my vibe. Cannot engage with reality in that way. So I try to love it instead, right? And love is one of those terms that has been co-opted, kind of like misconstrued, used against its own will to mean only something romantic. But for me, it is very much a certain way of engaging, right? And I'm willing to admit that I sometimes fail at being ultimately loving, but I try, right? And that is my spiritual journey that I'm actively engaged with. So instead of reading scripture, instead of engaging in prayer, instead of, in so many words, I guess tithing as well, I see reality as the teacher, right? That God teaches me through everything in life. The universe speaks to me through everything, through my music, through my art, through this moment and the company that I am in, through the job that I will or will not have, through the people that I work with. All right. The lessons will come. And all I have to be is loving enough to look and learn. All right. I don't know if that answer satisfies your curiosity, but that's the way it is. How about you, combat journeys? What do you believe in? Some of us do combat. Some of us would say we're more spiritual than religious. Are you religious? Oh, combat, you just signed up for a lecture. A little bit. Little bit of a lecture. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's just like we said yesterday, there is no end. They'll take that shit like the rainbow. What? That's called pantheism. Yes. Or panpsychism is another one as well, right? Panpsychism is the belief that everything is conscious. Everything, right? That consciousness is a quality of the universe and that we are arising within that consciousness. That is technically what I'm believing in. I would rather technically be considered an omnitheist, right? Technically, or omnism, which is the collective, right? I have learned from Buddhist teachings. I have learned from the Hindu teachings, right? One of my favorite characters in the Hindu teachings is Shiva. Love that dude. Yeah, me and him are homies, if not the same entity, continually reincarnating. Right? Love that dude. I've learned from Jesus. My favorite teaching of Jesus is love thy neighbor, right? Love everybody. right? That the I am. The only way to reach God is through the I am, right? You can't get to God through someone else. You have to get God to God through the I am that you are. Before you are, say your name. You are, right? I can go, I am MeltMore. And then in that way, I like, does it extrapolate? Reduce, maybe. I think that's a better word. I reduce the truth to just myself. But we admit, even in our language, foremost, right? Before being something, we are in its essential beingness, right? And I feel like that is what the universe is as well. Before the universe has to identify itself as something, it is something. And we are part of that something. I am an agnostic atheist, if I had to put a label on it. Yeah, being agnostic helps, right? Atheism means that we believe that there is no God, or at least we don't believe in a God, right? I think that's technically the real term, is that an atheist doesn't believe in a God. And I did personally identify as an atheist for the longest time. But then I continued looking with the intention to learn, and reality showed me that I know nothing, like very little. Just a small little sliver of reality I know. Just this little crack in the door that I can look through. Little keyhole, right? And then there's all of that reality on the other side that I am unprivy to. But I will look. I'll continue to learn. I hope so, at the very least. This is my favorite debate, yo. What makes you gay? It's very simple. If you are sexually attracted to the same sex, then that you are. If you are sexually attracted to the same sex that you are, then you're gay. No need to complicate it either. Yeah, this is true. I've had, right, this whole reality slash willingness to look and learn, a relationship with the earth where I can look and learn with every single male in my life that there is no, as you said, sexual attraction there, right? Where, like, for example, I want to share, but I also don't want to share. Weighing my options, looking at myself and learning. Yeah, okay, fine. Right? Like, I am a yoga practitioner, right? And I have practiced with male teachers, right? And these male teachers are amazing in so many words, right? They're fit and they're strong and they're impressive in so many words. But there's no part of me that goes, right? There's none of that arising. There's none of that almost like desire arising in my heart. Where the same is not true practicing with Joe, for example, right? Where suddenly there is an activation of my systems, right? And in that way, I feel it's very simple whether or not you're gay. It's like very simple. As you said, like it's as simple as do you find yourself gravitating towards, man, I tried divine moments of thought too. Yeah, that's one of those things where when I looked, I learned. Oh goodness, did I look? Just suddenly peeking inside your mind, peeking inside the collective consciousness that we're a part of, and realize that, oh, I know nothing. Oh, I know very little. My favorite masculine gatekeeping moment is when Andrew Tate tweeted that having sex with a woman without the goal of impregnating her, so as it stands, sex with a woman is gay. Yeah, having sex with a woman without the goal of impregnating her is gay. Right. I think I saw that one too at some point. I did actually think it was a joke. I thought people were like memeing and like just putting Andrew Tate's name and then typing the most unhinged shit in the tweet. But I guess with you echoing that sentiment, yeah, I think if anybody is a closeted gay person, it's definitely Andrew Tate. Checks out, right? Nobody wants to be shirtless and smoking a cigar all the time that bad if they're not a little bit gay. Now we're doing it too. Man, man, how did we get here? Good morning, Kate. It's nice having you here, friend. We're talking about looking and learning. Looking with the intent of learning, right? Like I can just look or I can look, right? And depending on how I look, I'll learn more or less. Nope, that is a real Andrew Tate quote. Send that guy some help. Like, we were just talking about religion. I think he needs some religion. I think he needs some. I think some people need religion. I think he's one of those kinds. Atheism says that there's no good evidence for a God, so I don't believe in anyone. It's true. I hear what you're saying. That's kind of like where I came from as well. I'll be back in a second. I have to go and return some water to the universe. Water successfully returned. Let me drink my multivitamins as well. Oh, jeebies. Joe forgot her stuff here. She'll be returning soon. But still. Man. There's a blue jay screaming out there. Joe has taught me the sounds these creatures make, and now I notice them. Alrighty. Vitamins consumed. Let me go get my kalimba too. I'm sorry for being distracted. I'm off camera, so suddenly my tabs are open for all of these things that I can do. I played some kalimba on bed last night and was really relaxing. Little blue jay doing it. Let me see. Andrew Tate, as manipulative and disgusting as he is, probably already has religion. Ugh. Yeah. You're probably not wrong. He's probably one of the biggest believers. He's probably one of the people that donates the most at church, kind of thing. It's so funny that people who say they don't believe in God, they sure always try and talk about God a lot. I don't know if you're talking about me. I do talk about God sometimes, but I also don't talk about believing in God necessarily. HRP, Aristotle says, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. One of my favorite quotes, actually. Is it Aristotle? I'll be amiss to make sure I remember that. Because it is one of my favorite quotes. It's one that I would use to say to my dad when we would get into these kinds of discussions. Because I am willing to consider things outside of the norm. And it's not because I believe it, ultimately, but it's as Joe said, it's because I consider it the mark of an intelligent mind. It's like an open-mindedness, right? If your mind is so closed that you are unwilling to let in any ideas that could challenge what you have come to believe, that is not intelligence. That is fear. That is resistance. That is self-limitation, if anything. Because again, this is one of my favorite things to have come to like echo in myself. It is a Terence McKenna quote that I recently got re-exposed to. But I've listened to his lectures so many times at this point, and every time it comes back, it's so poignant. And it goes, the truth, the real truth, does not need defending, right? It does not need people to fight for it. It does not need people to try and make sure everybody believes the same thing. Is that Griffin? Howdy, y'all. A long time no see. Hope everyone is doing well. We are. And it's even nicer, Joel. Joel, having you here with us as well. What a blessing. How have you been, dear friend? How have you been? I now live in the United States of America. That changed in the meanwhile. How are you? Where are you right now? And how do you find yourself here? What is it that brings you here? Have you been looking to learn? Have you been learning from everything that you've been looking at? Let me see. Joe, my mind was just thinking along those lines, and it just spit it out so much better. Always learning. Yeah, that Aristotle quote is like legitimately one of my favorites. Whoa, Joe, you're touching on the very breakdown my mom and I face. Aspects of my personality challenge my mom's deeply embedded worldviews. And when I'm open about myself, she dismisses, disrespects, and even rejects me. Yeah, because again, right, she has to. In her worldview, her default mode network is so established, Dan, that anything that is outside of that norm, if she doesn't dismiss it, she has to let it in. If she doesn't disrespect it, she has to respect it. If she doesn't reject it, she has to accept it, right? And that acceptance kind of like shakes them on a fundamental level. Again, that's the thing that was a big point of contention between me and my dad as well. Because the things that I believe, and as you said, the words that you use, the aspects of my personality that I have come to embrace, challenge my dad's fundamental worldviews, right? I would like to tell him, I believe still to this day, that I would not be capable of doing what I do every day if I didn't believe what I believed, right? That the only way for me to engage with this level of personal responsibility, right? To be like, there's nobody coming to save me. Literally, no one. And I believe that, unfortunately, right? From the religious perspective. Depending on what religion you believe in, there is someone coming to save you. Either one day with the rapture, or when you die, there will be something to save you, right? Stand at the judge's table for you, right? Letting the judges know that actually you're a pretty cool homie, right? I don't believe in that part. So I take as much responsibility as I can over my own experience and my own life. And that is one of the things that me and my dad would get stuck on, because he would tell me that that's not possible. that I can't do that, he would say. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't? That's exactly what I'm doing. That is literally what I'm doing. That's what's happening right now. This is what it looks like to take responsibility instead. And I have really gotten so stuck on those kinds of technicalities. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Always learning. I think I missed the tops. Been well, just super busy with a new job that I started last December. I thought I heard you say Blue Jay, and I knew you had to be in the US. That's awesome. It really is, Griffin. It's the first time seeing Blue Jays now that I'm here as well, and I've been loving them. They're super cute. Always learning, finding peace in the pursuit, Joe says. Dan agreeing, saying, exactly, Melt. I cannot be disrespected, and she cannot help but disrespect. It's an impasse. Yeah, I'm the same, right? For me, the disrespect would come in like the audacity kind of thing, right? Like, who are you? Like, again, with me and my dad, like, who are you to tell me I can't do something a certain way when I'm literally doing it that way, right? I am literally taking personal responsibility for my well-being, right? When things go bad, I self-reflect and I try and change my behavior so that things can go better, right? I don't start praying. I don't, I don't start praying because there's nobody there that's going to be like, oh, you prayed to be helped. I'm gonna send you help. No, I help myself, right? If I start praying about being overweight, I can pray and be like, please let me lose 10 pounds, please, 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 please. And then God's gonna be like, I can't help you, homie. You have to help yourself. Oh, you're gonna have to go and jog a little bit, maybe eat some less calories, right? And that's my relationship with God. I believe God loves me so much that God doesn't want to intervene, right? That God wants to have me have my full experience, right? If I could just kind of like stick my hand up and then get taken out of any uncomfortable situation when I wanted to, right? Like, hello, please, God, this is too much now for me. I would like out. And then God comes in and is like, oh, let me help you, little homie, like a big dad. Like, oh, yeah, I'll step in for you. No, no, that would rob us. That would rob us of our humanness, our je ne sais quoi, our essential quality of responsibility that we have over our own existence. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Griffin, jovial, Jovan. Oh my goodness. Hey, chat. Hey, conservative Latina. It's nice having you here, friend. We got Combat Journey saying, we do need to stay open, but sometimes the ideas people are excited about aren't as new as they think. They're just new to them. These questions have been explored a long time, and others have already given them deep thought. That's why I like listening to the philosophers of old, right? The Greek and Roman philosophers had some shiznit, right? They were thinking. They spent time. They were the first in a way, like real thinkers, because they optimized their realities, and then they realized, oh, reality now has been simplified, right? We grow our crops, we source our food, from these places. That we bring them into a centralized place. Everybody knows where to get their food from. We know where we're sleeping tonight. We have buildings. We have rudimentary hygiene practices so we can kind of wash our bodies and clean ourselves up again. Right? And then what? They went. And then what? And now what? And then they started deliberating. They were like, maybe I need to look at this quality of life. Maybe I need to look at this aspect of existence and deliberate. Kind of come to a conclusion about what is the best way to be. And I don't think necessarily that every single thing that they came up with is emphatically true or infallible, but there's so much wisdom there. All right? Like let me see this. How long ago did Aristotle and Socrates and Epictetus and these ancient philosophers live? And how much of what they discussed seems to be very prevalent, even the most common thing that we experience as normal human beings in our modern life existence as well.
It is a fascinating realization.
We do stay open sometimes. These questions. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm just glad, Melt, that you and I are the unstoppable force, constantly in motion, as opposed to the immovable object, stuck in place. Some people have come to a point of comfort where they're like, they're like, they dig themselves into their little stuck place, and they're like, yeah, this is comfortable. I am comfortable being stuck here. I'm not stuck. I'm actually comfortable, they say. Sure, combat. But the role of a parent is to entertain that process for the sake of the growth of their child. Yeah, exactly. Hey man, I'm about to get here, and I hope you have a good day. Get out of here, I guess. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, combat. All right, here it goes. It is a fascinating realization that the modern problems we face, anxiety about the future, the sting of an insult, the struggle of self discipline were the exact same issues these thinkers were dissecting over 2 millennia ago. Oh my goodness. Here is the breakdown of these figures and when they lived and why their ideas still feel like they were written just this morning. Socrates was in the years 470 to 400 BCE, 2,400 years ago. Aristotle was 384 to 322 BCE, so 2,300 years ago. And Epictetus was 50 to 135 CE, which is 1,900 years ago. All right, so rounding up, 2 millennia, 2,000 years. That is like, can we just like, oh my, I could trips my brain up. Makes me want to go crazy. Makes me want to like scream and run in circles. Let me calm down. I know, Zoe. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It is wild that we're still stuck. We're still somewhat stuck as a species, as a collective species. I think there is this force. I think they were also the unstoppable forces in their times, kind of like knocking up against the reality of the existence that they were in, right? The immovable object in that case was literally the state of reality. Hey Nancy, it's nice having you here. We got Joe saying, perceived value systems. Dan, that is the noble goal of a parent. However, I do know parents who had children to fix their relationships. And unfortunately, sometimes parents are just kids having kids. So sometimes in this day and age, the kiddo has to take the role of the responsible one. Sometimes parental patterns can become predictable. And in that case, we can alter those patterns. We can try. We can definitely try. I have. I have definitely tried. All right. And it's so beautiful that you say that, Joe, because it is a patterns thing. We see those parental patterns. And the more we keep looking with the intention to learn, the more we do, the more we see, the more clear it becomes to us what problems our beloved parents seem to face. And then we do try. As Joe said, we do try to help. We try to be the responsible one. But there is this dichotomy of them seeing us as a child pretty much forever. All right. And it's very hard for them to take a step back and listen, to take a step back and consider what it is we're saying. Because getting educated, getting parented as a parent, I can't imagine feels good to the ego. All right. And that's the biggest thing that all of us as a species are facing. All right. Again, worries about the future, ego. A sting of an insult, ego. Struggle for self discipline, ego. But there's more to there's more non parental involvement. When you're sticking your baby in daycare for 12 hours a day till they're 5 years old and go to kindergarten half day, nobody is raising the kids. They're all being babysat by a caregiver, a daycare worker, or an older sibling. Your kid is so influenced and is so missing a big chunk of development just by being stuck with 12 other kids a day as 2-year-olds. It's a very poignant thing you're saying. I've said this too in this community, HRP, that most of the damage, in so many words, that has been done to my value systems, that have been done to my self-image, that have been done to my belief about how valuable I am to the average person, is unfortunately because of my time in school. I'm lucky enough to have only been put in daycare at the age of 4. And I wish I was joking, but my mom would make this joke and say to people that she had to put me in daycare for veilige bewaring, is the word she would use. Hy is in dagsorg vir veilige bewaring, which directly translates to safekeeping. He's been put in daycare for safekeeping because she did want to beat me. And she did. But it didn't work. Beating me, again, my relationship with pain my whole life has been pretty chill. I experience pain and then I forget about it. Just like that, you know. Just like that, forget about the pain and engage with reality further. All right, show up for love, not for fear. Because I love existing and doing whatever I say, even if it means painting the walls with mud. Get beat? Don't do it again. Do something else instead. My parents didn't have me to fix anything. They didn't have me to fix anything. They did it because my mother was a 29-year-old boomer and my father was a 33-year-old boomer, and having a kid is what they believed self-progress looks like. Yeah. It's like the next step. It's like, okay, we buildings, we jobbed, we saw a world a little bit, traveled a little bit, all right, now what? And then having a kid kind of is like the next step. Self-progress. And again, this is my own bias, my own projection, if you will, Dan. I think they're lucky. I think they're lucky to have had you as a child, right? I do honestly believe their worlds would be less interesting and less full if not for you being in their lives with them, right? So in that way, they did technically get what they were looking for. They did get the self-progress. But I think there is also a matter of a willingness to almost like realize there's more than just the progress that comes, right, from having the kid. There's more than just the growth that is going to be there by learning how to raise a child, right? There is a certain growth that comes in realizing that this child that I have now risen is also intelligent, is also aware in the same way that I am, right? That all of the intelligence that I think I have, they have, right? And if they don't, then I must be stupid as well, kind of thing, right? And then coming to terms with that in a way where you can realize and acknowledge, admit even to yourself a little bit that this entity that you have created can see things that you might have missed. I think that's the biggest bottleneck for parents, all right? Because nobody wants to, we talked about it at the start of today's stream, nobody wants to learn something about themselves from someone else. That's what Jo said to us this morning, right? Her teaching a little bit. We want to be the ones to discover things, right? And jeebies, having had a child, having raised that child, and then, right, because again, I'm sure there's something about the ego involved when it comes to your child teaching you something, because you're supposed to have taught them. You can't teach me something. I was supposed to teach you this thing. Don't teach me, please. You're gonna make me feel inadequate as a parent, or something, the ego says. All right? There we go. Let me see. HRP says we need to go back to adults, telling children that things are grown-up business and not their concern. That's what needs to be happening. I think it's not wrong what you're saying, HRP. I am one of those people that like to engage with kids in a way that I would engage with an adult. I try to be a little bit playful, right? I try to be playful, but I am very real, right? If a child asks me something, for instance, Silas, the other day, we were next to the creek and he picks up a dead crawdad, right? And then he goes, "Can I get sick from this thing?" And instead of trying to fearmonger, right? Instead of trying to sugarcoat, right? I've had experiences in my life where an adult will tell me, "Oh, yo, you're gonna get sick if you touch it. Just by touching it, you're gonna get sick," right? But that's not how getting sick works. So I tell him instead, "Sure, you could get sick." And then he goes, "How?" I'm like, if you touch something that is infected or dirty or filled with bacteria, and then you put those fingers in your eyes or around your eyes or in your nose or in your mouth or in your ears, then you can expose yourself to whatever is on that thing, and that could make you sick, right? And it is like a conversation I would have with an adult as well. I would say those exact same words to an adult in the same way. And I believe, this is my own personal bias, I guess, that the kids appreciate being talked to like they're not stupid. All right. And I think maybe that's a part of it as well, is because our parents do baby us in some ways, they talk to us like we're kids, having them be the learning one in that kind of like brings up in them a whole plethora of maybe like projections about who it is they are, right? Their role suddenly changing. So instead of looking inwardly and exploring themselves, they had two kids that they were and still are wildly unprepared to do from an emotionally mature perspective. I see what you're saying, Melt, but they are so resistant to the gift that you see me as that they've outright rejected me. Both of them. Well, that's their loss. And I'll keep telling you that, Dan. We're lucky to have you in this world with us. And in the ways that I can, I'll celebrate your existence. I say, don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. You don't gain respect with the years you collect. You have to be one who can apply what the world teaches and continue to learn. Look and continue to learn. Dan says, and that was a Joe comment, beautiful one at that, if you cannot filter out the pieces of you that make us uncomfortable, then you have no seat at the table. That's the message both my sister and I have received. It seems very convenient for them, right? And again, I think they'll come around eventually, Dan. I think eventually it will dawn on them that that's not how it works, right? That's just not how any of this works, right? Just because you don't share their political ideals doesn't mean that they get to not engage with you anymore, right? Again, that's an option. It's an option, but I don't think it's one they're going to perpetuate. I could be wrong. I am wrong all the time. But it's like a matter of, I feel, like a phase. It's kind of like a phase, all right? Our boomer relatives are going through a phase right now. And we're going to be compassionate, right? We're going to be so compassionate, right? Instead of putting eyeliner on and having massive bangs, they wear red hats. And we're going to be just as compassionate and understanding as we can. Be like, oh, you poor things going through your phase. You poor things. So silly. You're some stupid. Yikes, Dad. I'm sorry they said that to you. I told my mother that, Joe. I said, I will no longer accept shame or guilt from you, Susan, because you lack the wisdom to act as a judge. That's hardcore, but a good line. And the reason we're here is because of all the people before us. I had children. Before us had children, yes. Otherwise, we wouldn't even exist right now. This is true as well, all right? HRP, lol. No one's raging on people for having kids. That's definitely not what we're doing. We're just more talking about being kids to people. I feel like if anything, we're talking about that, right? Today's stream topic has been about looking with the intent to listen. And it's cool that we found ourselves here because the first people we ever look to, are our parents. And those are the people we learn from, right? And in that way, all of us will forever be in part of them. They will be in part of us. And it's apt, I believe, to look and to learn what they've done. What have they done to us? All right. How is all of their teachings manifesting in our lives? Joel says, Melt, have you ever done a stream covering the various types of love as defined by the ancient Greeks? We've talked about it lightly, and it is something that Joe likes to talk about as well a lot. But talking about eros, philia, agape, ludus, etc., interested to know if you think other types exist. I think those are pretty encapsulating, right? And I know that you were talking about my earlier comment of the way that I love the world, right? That it's not just romantic. I think eros is romantic love, right? And agape is like love of God or love of life kind of thing. Yeah, but kids teach you things that you didn't know that you had as a kid. And they teach you a lot of different things with their own little character. Yeah, they come. They come already a full person, right? The thing that you have to do as a parent or as an adult in a child's life is to elicit their person from them. To be like, who are you? Right? Not from a perspective of what job do you want to do, but who are you? Who are you? Maybe it's a little bit of a big question to ask a child directly, so we ask them in roundabout ways. My family and I have a rule: we don't discuss politics at family gatherings. They're brainwashed and they like being so, and I won't tolerate being talked down to by cultists. Zoe Bird, are you a good girl? You want to go bye-bye? Okay. All right, fine. I'm gonna get you bye-bye. All right? Okay. Here I come, Zoe. Here I come. What's happening here, Zoe Birdie? You want to step up? Yeah? Come on, Zoe. Come on, Zoe. You want out? There you go. Good girl. Oh, stepping up so good. Yeah, you're out. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Zoe. Oh, yeah. Where do you want to go? I see you see the walnuts down there already, huh? You see the walnuts? Is that what you're looking at? Yeah? You're looking at this? Let's go and crush some for you, okay? Come on. Yeah. Let me get you some bitty bitties. Alright? I'll fill one of these walnuts for you. See, I have a little bit of crushed stuff there already. Maybe this is going to be easier than I thought it would be. Let me see which one I'm picking for you. This one is good. Hello. You want a cookie? I'm getting you a cookie right now. Yeah. 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 Little cookie for Zoe. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting you a cookie. Yeah, Zoe. I might have to do more here. But I'm filling this for you. Look at that. Yeah. You want out? Where you want to go? You want out? You want to go and sit on that perch? You want to go and sit on the perch or something? You probably do, but you're going to be... What's up? What's up? You don't want a cookie? There you go. I'll give you a kiss. Yeah. He makes that sound when he's upset about something. I don't think there's enough almond in here, Zoe. I'm going to have to crush you more almond. Yeah, I'll have to crush you more almond. Yeah. I'm getting you a cookie right now. Yeah, that's the plan. That's what's happening here. Yeah, I'm doing it. Hello, Zoe. Are you a good girl, Zoe? You a good girl? Man, this is harder. This is harder with one hand. This is hard. Yeah, this is hard. You a good girl, Zoe. Look at this. I'm covering this. I'm putting this thing filled with cookies. Is that good enough? You think this is good enough? Yeah. Let's see if I can fill it more. It's fighting me, Zoe. It's fighting me. I only have one hand. Usually I do this with two hands. I'm getting you a cookie. Yeah. There we go. I think that should be good. That thing is pretty filled with cookie bitties. You wanna say? You wanna say bye-bye? You wanna say bye-bye? Bye-bye. There you go. Good girl. Yeah, that's a good girl, Zoe. It's a good girl. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Let's put you on this. There you go. It's a good girl. Yeah. There you go. Is that good? Yeah, a little walnut covered in little bitties. Let's go make him another one. I'll flip you around. Oh. I'll crush one more. And this one I will actually cover in some peanut butter as well this time, I think. Yeah, this one's it. We got some natural peanut butter. It's pretty natural smelling. Only has peanuts as an ingredient. I like that. No seed oils for a Burby either. And I'm gonna cover this thing in some peanut butter. He 100% will crack these and extract all that he can from it. This is why I go out for walks. And then I go and pick up more walnuts that the squirrels left me. All right. Now we'll fill this. Okay. Nice. Imagine you were so lucky that you would get walnuts stuffed with peanut butter and little almond bits. Luckiest Burbiest ever. Be right back. Is that good, Zoe? Is that good? Oh, I see you dropped your other one. Let me give you another. There you go. Good girl. Let me grab this one. Yeah, you really did work this one, huh? Now that one's gonna treat you good. That one's gonna last long. Good girl. It's a good girl, Zoe. All right. I am return. A little bit of a intermission. Oh, the cultist. But we all sort of agreed that we were worth practicing restraint for. After I followed through on a threat to not show up for Thanksgiving, apparently Mom was pretty upset about that. But not at me. Just upset about the general fact that you had to get there. Yeah, in my life in general, and any job I've ever had, especially when I was a bartender, there was this main rule: no religion, no politics, and I shut it down. Yeah, it's good. That's so true, HRP. There's much to learn from little baby children as well. It's true that we're ignorant to what we haven't experienced. Ignorance isn't bad, it's just part of being able to learn. Nancy saying hi to Zoe. HRP says, my mom was the one, the moms that thought they were going to have some big, successful, glamorous life, and it's all the fact that they had kids that ruined their big, glamorous life. That's right. Look at who's telling you and putting you down and trying to tell you something, and look at the fruits of their life, and then ask yourself, should I even be entertaining this? Toasty being like, whoa. Love burb. Yeah, he gave me like 3 kisses. I think it's because he wanted to like get my attention technically, but still. No, it's totally not gonna dawn on them. Honey, how old are you? I'm 54 and they still don't get it. If they own you, not the red ladies. He's laughing with me, HRP. Oh, love to you, Toast. Nice having you. Joe saying hi as well. Dan says, Sam, my family has decided that we are not worth restraint. And that's a real source of pain in this moment. Love is true. Like, you're still the one capable of love at the other side of it, right? They can't take that away from you. No, you're supposed to observe them like me. I am very curious, and I ended up being the truth teller and pissing my whole family off. And I was more drawn to problem solving, and it was the very drawn to math than my sister. She was more drawn to writing in stories and poems. Me, I'd rather be outside working on my bike, trying to figure out why the chain won't stay on. Burb was saying, whoa. He says, whoa, and I heard him say recently when I took him outside, what is that? When he saw a bird. He goes, what is that? What's that? Choosing to observe from eyes unclouded by judgment. Observing from a curious mind. Curious mind is the biggest thing. Like, don't play with me. You know what I want. You know what I want? Don't play with me. Love is true. Nancy saying, not that it's a panacea, but therapy has helped me a lot during certain times in my life. It's true. Everybody could use some therapy, I'm sure, right? Even if you're completely okay, even if there's nothing wrong with you, do some therapy too. Yep, always from a curious mind, you have to always be open to really accept and learn, and don't try to live through your children, and don't think you own them like a piece of property. Nah, just like my toddler. What's that? Was very cute. I haven't heard him say it like more than one time. And when I told Jo that he said that, she was like, I haven't heard him say that either. So it must be like one of those rare quips. I don't know if I want to go down the Aristotle fractal anymore. I think we had our moment there. There is some interesting stuff here, but might not be what we're looking for right now. Everybody needs therapy. Of course, he's a Gen Z jellyfish. Very original, Greg. You look like you need the most therapy. You need therapy extra, right? I think everybody needs some therapy. You need more therapy. Someone just got triggered. Right. You can see me. Yeah, I can see you. And I'm learning. I'm looking and I'm learning. And I am determining that you probably need some therapy. You don't know a goddamn thing. That seems like someone that needs therapy. That right there. But get that right there seems like in need of therapy kind of lines right there. Who can afford therapy? Lol. That's the other part. Damn it. Oh, Toasty is right. Therapy is expensive. I forgot about that part. Shia LaBeouf. But get therapy. Hi. Do you speak Afrikaans? Ja, ik doen. Ik kan Afrikaans praten. Wolf Sinky Kens. Wolf Boy Art. Ja. Shia. Yeah, Shia needs something. I think all of us. Seriously. You need more safe spaces? No. I think this is enough. This space that we're in is safe right now, Greg. And maybe it's apt for you to realize that you cannot make a space unsafe. You can be as inflammatory as you want to be, as mean, as vapid, as unaware as you can try, right? Doesn't make the space that you're in any less safe. You might have to get disappeared. That might happen as well, right? For this space to remain a place of sanctuary. But no. Waar is jij geboren? Ik is geboren in South Africa. I was born in South Africa, but I live in the States right now. Do you as well, Wolfart Boy? The fact that you found me here might indicate that you do. Let me know where you're from. That meme when someone says something to the group and they thumbs up and carries on. Yeah, it's like, and we're like, continues. I'm sure I wouldn't take me long to get that meme. Meme of a group of people talking and then someone interrupts with something nonsensical and then they just carry on. That's a pretty big ask. But I'm sure it's gonna find it. Yeah, no. Let me do this. I'm not getting the exact meme, but I think I know the meme you're talking about. All right. I guess I didn't have to, but there's not much to learn from the master of rage baiters. Wat is je nou? En ken je Oranje? I ken Oranje. Ik weet van Oranje. I know about Oranje. I don't know it, kind of thing, right? And I'm in Indiana right now. Gotta include the thumbs up. Oh, yes. Carry on. Yay! I found it. I found it. Nice toast. The thumbs up was what we needed. All right. I don't know if this is the original meme, but here it is. It's like us in the community together, chitter-chattering. No, of course you think everybody needs therapy, you Gen Zer. And then we go. Big thumbs up guy meme. Yeah. I think this might be the one that you were talking about, Toast. A little bit more roughly drawn. But yes. Yes, exactly. Oh yeah. Looking and learning. Looking and learning that there is not much to be learned from looking anymore at this person. I do believe it's time for us to finish up today. I did not show you yesterday's flower, so I get to do so today. Savage and simple. I present to you on a platter a flower. Kan ek asseblief 'n mod wees? Nee. It's gonna take you a long time, Wolf Boy, to earn mod privileges. Aw, my hard eyes. It takes a long time. Took some of our friends, I think, literally 3 years before I made anyone a mod on my channel. 3 years, dude. They spent 3 years consecutively proving themselves, right? Showing their true character, right? And only then were they given the power. See you later. Cheers. Peace out, friend. Have a good day. There we go. And this flower is done. It has been revealed. Yeah. I still have to make yesterday's technically, but I will do so. Use your energy wisely. Look and learn. There is a lot for you to look and learn. Start doing a hello. I am missing content in the last one. But my coffee is done. At 11, I do look because I put it in my metrics. I'll tell the machine that I had my last dose of caffeine at 11. Apparently, caffeine helps me sleep better if I drink it more than 6 hours before I sleep, which is counterintuitive, but was neat to find out. Looking for my cards. They have been found. Let me go get them. I think it's a work your light kind of day. Yep. Have you been working your light? Yeah? Oh, excuse me. Let's see. One of you friends could tell me when I am to stop. And then when I stop, I will read the card that I've stopped upon. Hey, you just got here? Yeah? Halt! Oh! Toasty Malosty. Wasting no time. That's weird, Toast. I like shuffled. You saw me shuffle my deck, right? This was the card at the bottom of the deck before I shuffled it. Because we pulled this card the other day. Like the last time, I think, we pulled from this deck, we pulled this card, Toast. The Trust Your Path. I think you were even here for that reading, weren't you? I think we'll put it away. Whoa. Woohoo. Trust your path. Yeah, we'll just absorb that one. We'll be like, hey, you should trust your path. You have a path, and you ought to trust it. Toasty is giving me a Maybe I can get another stop. Reconnecting for a second. One more stop. I should be beyond that card now at the very least. I'll stop when I see a message again. There we go. Toast. Nice. Toast made it happen again. Ooh. Cool. In a way, these cards are related. Trust your path. I feel is very much in sync and related to the sentiment of this card as well. This card is very cool looking. Kind of creepy, but pretty cool. It's called Unbound. Not gonna lie, I want to hear the Trust Your Path message too. I'll read both, Ja. I'll read both of these in succession to create a combined meaning. Unbound. I feel like I say stop too often. I'm going on a stop hiatus. Nancy, whoever says stop gets to say stop. All right? You don't have to go on a hiatus. It doesn't take away from the specialness, at least for me, of the readings if you're the one saying stop every time. I appreciate you friends having influence in my life, so that's what it's about for me. I'll read Trust Your Path first. There it is. This is the what would you do if you knew you would be supported card. The universe is conspiring Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong. Exactly. Those knows. You can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Most people don't follow their highest call of their soul because they're waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you were planning, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could have possibly imagined. Don't micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. That was the first card. And then the unbounded card coming up next. Let's see how these two messages combine. Nice. Unbound. Go to, sharing is caring. This is the way it be. Hey, hoopty hoopty. This is the card we are reading right now, bro. You feel unbound? Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. It is time to release old soul stories that have been playing out in your life. They are coming to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns than right now. Take a look. Ooh, it says it. Today's stream topic being about looking to learn. Yes. Take a look at the patterns in your life that you are ready to release. Ancient vows and contracts that your soul made that have an expiry date. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It is time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from the trauma of past lives. What old ways of being have an expiry date? When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding power over you. When acknowledging these old patterns, it is also important to acknowledge how they have served you up until now. For example, a soul pattern of playing small caused by a soul fear of being seen or sharing your voice would have served you by keeping you safe in the past. However, in order to grow, you now need to soften by receiving and calling in support. It is time to unbind from the old ways of being that are no longer sustainable. Tooth, I was just wondering where you were. Think of him and he shall return. No more than a thought away, right? Work your light activation. Hold this card on your heart and say, I, for all of us, we Release all old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer in alignment with who we are here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound. Unbound forever, unbound. Can't put no chains on me. I am forever unbounding. Boundlessly extending my consciousness into the extremes of reality. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me, for sharing in this space on this day alongside me. It is a pleasure to share, to be present with you all. It means a lot that you found yourself here again today. Hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, everyone. Sorry for always trolling. Trey. That's nice. Thank you for apologizing. You are welcome in this space. All right? Even if you have trolled before, there is still a room here for you to come and sit down and have a chat with us. You are loved. You are loving, and you are lovable. I appreciate you, friends, for being here with me today. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'ma hit the gym now. I wanted to say something like, hit the gym. JK, hit the weights. Yeah. Happy? Got him. Got him. Love is true. You go in, look, with the intention to learn now. All right? Looking swole, big dog. Thank you, Fred. You have a good day, friends. I'll see you again tomorrow, okay? Ta-ta. And cheers.